I'm Helga Henry. I'm Director of Creative Shift. We help businesses, particularly creative and cultural businesses, grow and develop. I work with startup businesses, medium-sized and quite large organisations. And one thing that absolutely astonishes me is that people of every, if you like, level or every range of experience confess to me at some point that they feel like a fraud, that they feel like one day they're going to wake up and somehow it'll all fall around them. They'll get found out. And this imposter syndrome, this dip in confidence, is really interesting to me. And I suffer from it occasionally myself. I don't think any of us are immune to it.
Well, entrepreneurs need to be able to put on their optimism in the morning like a piece of clothing, right? So it's not that every day, every entrepreneur, the big ones or the small ones or whatever, feel great. It's not like you wake up feeling like you're gonna climb Kilimanjaro this morning. But what you don't have the choice, if you are an entrepreneur, you need to figure out how to get yourself into that zone where you're thinking optimistically.
What I think confidence is really about isn't necessarily the fact that you'll go into any given situation and know all the answers. It's that when you're presented with a challenge or when you need to really step up to the plate, you have a range of skills and tools and resources at your disposal. That can be emotional tools and resources as well as literal ones.
The vibe or the signal that you send out to the world about it's possible, I'm here to bring you value, you should be doing business with me. People read that signal, right? If they see you looking down, if they feel you're slumping over and so forth, it's just, they're not going to do business with you. It's just that simple, right? And so if you have a hard time being an actress, then you really should find some other line of work, because being an entrepreneur is first and foremost doing things when you don't feel that way anymore.
My name is Caroline Norbury and I'm Chief Executive of Creative England. When I set up Creative England, it was quite challenging, but actually being tenacious and not giving up, I think is the quality that you see in the majority of successful businesses. The majority of them will have spent an awful lot of time bootstrapping and working really long hours, and convincing people are very difficult to convince.
And I actually realized that about 80% of the yeses that I've gotten to in my business career started off as no's. Now, I don't know if that's just me or what, but the point is that it's not easy. And nobody should expect it to be easy. Nobody should say, well, okay, maybe occasionally I get a no. Probably most of the time you're going to get a no, and you're going to have to turn that no into a yes by virtue of really listening to the objection that people are giving you and saying, okay, I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm going to work with this guy. This guy is giving me feedback, and the best thing you can have is feedback.
Having that resourcefulness, having that optimism, having that sense of confidence that helps you become resilient over time. I didn't really know what tenacity meant. Everyone used to say, oh, you know, leaders, business leaders, they have to be tenacious. You have to have resilience. And I'll be honest, I kind of understood that, but only on the level of words. But one day, we'd had a really bad knockback. I'd had a really difficult time with a client. We'd had a really difficult time with cash flow. Various technical issues had meant that lots of things were frozen that I couldn't unblock. And I was feeling really low. And I really didn't want to, I just thought, do you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't want this grief. And I suddenly remembered what we were working for and what we were really trying to achieve. And even though I really didn't feel like it, I just got up and carried on.
You've got to be ambitious, and you've got to keep faith with your ambition. You've got to be realistic about that ambition, and you have to surround yourself with people who are going to help you, but at the same time you've got to really, really fight very, very hard and not give up.
That's what tenacity is. That's what resilience is. It's actually doing the stuff you have to do even when there's not a molecule of your being that feels like doing it. And what helps you get through those times is a certain level of confidence and optimism that is just a passing phase. So I think another key part of resilience is having a network of peers and support that can help see you through the bad times and then celebrate the good ones.
The most important thing in life is to understand what your strengths are and to play to your strengths. If you can play to your strengths, you can understand what your unfair advantage is. If you build an unfair advantage, a competitive advantage vis-a-vis the world, then you can release your unique contribution to the world.
If you're very passionate about something, being really, really tenacious about it will bring you rewards.
Sometimes people in the creative industries wish that they were something else. They don't recognize that they have a very special gift and they need to focus on that gift. That they may need a finance director, they may need an ops manager, or they may need a business partner. And really the management teams that we back always have two people. They have a product technology genius and they have a sales business person, right? So it's not an admission of failure that you decide you need to work with somebody. That is frankly just normal. So again, but it comes back to, if you reject what you're good at, if you push away your strengths and say, oh no, I don't want those strengths, could I please have different strengths? Then what you're doing is you're trying to fix your weaknesses and you don't get anywhere in life, right? So everything starts, which moves people in a positive direction, once they embrace their strengths and they play to those strengths and they determine what that unfair advantage is, which releases their unique contribution to the world.